Welcome back to BNC Prime. Florida Representative Val Demings found herself on President-elect Biden's short list for vice president before he narrowed his choice down to Senator Kamala Harris. Demings has a strong background in both politics and law enforcement. In 2007, she became the first woman to lead the Orlando police force after serving there for 27 years. And as Congresswoman serving Florida's 10th congressional district, she was in the national spotlight as one of the impeachment managers in the hearings regarding President Donald Trump. She joined us now live to talk more about President-elect Biden's transition to the White House and also her district. I've known her for many years, and we appreciate her joining us once again here on BNC. Welcome, Congresswoman Demings. Good to see you again.
It is great to be back with you and great to see you as well.
Well, many still expect to see you in a high-profile position in this new administration. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, let me just say this. We are so excited that finally the transition is moving forward. It really should have about 3 weeks ago, but, you know, it's certainly better late than never. So we're glad to see that taking place. We're glad to see President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Harris assemble their team. What I can tell you is there is a lot of work to be done. And there is so much to be done in the House of Representatives. Of course, we did not have the numbers. We're still in the majority, but we do not have the numbers that we have had before the election. And so there's a lot of work to be done in the House. I certainly want to help to aggressively push the Biden-Harris agenda forward. And so wherever that takes me, where I can better serve this administration, I want to be right there.
Well, wonderful. What are your thoughts on the nominations that we've seen so far?
You know, as we watched the press conference today, as we heard the announcement yesterday, but actually got to see President-elect Biden and the nominees on stage with him, it just brought back a sense of calm, a sense of normalcy. I really believe in that America is back, and we have career public servants. We don't have to guess about who they are or what their motivations or where their hearts are. We know that they are career public servants, and we look forward to the work ahead with this assembled team of public servants. I'm looking forward to the future, not just here in Florida, but around the nation and, quite frankly, around the world.
So what do you think people of color can expect with the changes that are coming to Americans under a Biden administration, and how will it differ from President Trump's?
Well, one of the things that President-elect Biden said early on was that he wanted an administration that reflected the diversity in this nation. And he made a promise that he was going to appoint a woman to stand by his side as the vice president. He fulfilled that promise. And we got a woman of color, but it's about more than that, too. She is quite competent and capable and ready to do this job. So we're excited about that announcement or appointment of Vice President Harris. But when we watch the rollout of the appointments, when we watched each nominee come out on the stage, we saw America come out on the stage. And so I do believe that President-elect Biden is going to keep his promises to really focus on things like climate control, broadband expansion, healthcare. We know how COVID-19 has disproportionately impacted Black and brown communities, education, technical training, those issues that are important to Black and brown communities, criminal justice reform. The best indicator of future performance is to look at past performance. And we have a man now headed to the White House who stands by his word. So I'm quite encouraged about what the future looks like for all Americans, not just the privileged few.
Now, Congresswoman Demings, your expertise has been tapped many times due to the fact that you are a former police officer. And as we know, it's been a difficult year with Black people getting killed by officers. What would you recommend to President-elect Biden on how to handle this crisis?
Well, you're right. That's a conversation that I have engaged in on numerous occasions. And look, I spent 27 years at the Orlando Police Department, was appointed the chief of police after 24 years. It was a job that I loved, a place where I feel I grew up. But what we realize is that we cannot arrest our way out of some of the problems that plague, if you will, Black and brown communities, that we have to deal with the social ills that cause decay in communities in the first place. So while we look at who we're hiring, while we look at training, while we look at diversity, because police departments must reflect the diversity of the communities in which they serve as well, we look at training, we look at our policies, we also need to look at housing, substandard housing, unemployment, wages, health care, education. If we know that every 26 seconds a child drops out of high school, and then if we look at prisons across our nation, the overwhelming majority of people there are Black and brown, but did not graduate high school, then we've got to look at education. And so I believe as we look at our police departments from the inside out and the outside in, and we address some of those social ills that cause decay in communities in the first place, we can rebuild, restore trust, and keep all communities safe and sound, as we have an obligation to do.
Absolutely. Now, your district in Orlando is like many others facing the challenges due to COVID-19. What are your efforts there?
Well, as you well know, we started out in March. We passed the largest relief package in the history of our nation, the CARES Act, for $2.2 trillion. We quickly realized it wasn't enough, so we had to pass a interim package of $480 billion. Still not enough. We passed the HEROES Act in May. And as you know, and as your viewers know, the HEROES Act has been sitting in the Senate on the Senate Majority Leader's desk, waiting for action. We also know, we know the numbers, almost 12 million people have contracted the virus. We have 256,000 people who have died from the virus. Almost 1 million here in our state have contracted the virus, and over 17,000 have lost their lives. Millions of people are unemployed. Small businesses are closing, some of them permanently. Floridians need help, not next year. They need it right now. People around the nation need help, not next year, but right now. And so we're working hard, trying to do everything that we can to pass a relief package before the end of the year. We like to say by Christmas, but certainly before the end of the year when we know the relief funding runs out. And so we have an awesome task ahead of us, but we can get this done. We pass it in the House. We need the Senate to take action on behalf of Floridians and on behalf of the American people.
Yes, we are all hoping for that. And real quick, there are so many Americans who've lost their health care due to loss of jobs. Is the Affordable Care Act still an option for people?
The Affordable Care Act is very much an option for people. We just had, matter of fact, since we're in the enrollment period, as you well know, which is through December 15th, we had a healthcare teletown hall just last week to remind people that the Affordable Care Act is still what its name suggests, that it is a very affordable form of health care. We're still working to lower premiums, lower the cost of prescription drugs, but people who find themselves in this gap period, if you will, if people who find themselves still paying too high premiums, the Affordable Care Act is still a good option, and we're doing everything that we can to protect it. I was elected or sworn in 2017. One of our first responsibilities was to help to protect the Affordable Care Act and not throw over 20 million people off of their health care rolls and be stranded without health care. So we're continuing to work in that effort, but just a reminder that we have until December 15th to get enrolled or re-enrolled to change some aspects of your health care plan if that's what you would like to do.
That is so good to know. Thank you so much. We're out of time, but thank you so much, Congresswoman Val Demings, for joining us. We appreciate your time, and early happy Thanksgiving.
It's great to be with you. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well.